Thanks for attending our Roaming Robots workshop. We really hope that you enjoyed it. In this recap video, we will go through the main parts of what we covered in the session, and you will be able to pause, rewind, and fast forward to the parts of the video to be able to help you. So let's get started. In our Roaming Robots workshop, we used the website vr.vex.com to make our robot move round a maze. Now you can do this using any device. For this recap video, I am using my iPad, but you can use whichever device you would like to. So we're going to load up our internet browser. So on my iPad, it's Safari. And then we're going to type in the web address, which is vr.vex.com. And once you've loaded that up, it will then take you to the page that you want to be at. Now you might get a little message like this that says welcome back to or anything like that. So we're just going to press the X in the corner, and that's going to take us to our VR code page where we will be able to do all of our coding to help our robot move. Now, if you've not used VX before, you will be able to see it's very much like Scratch and other block-based coding. Down the left-hand side, there are different coloured blocks that you can then use. For today's recap video, we're just going to stay in the blue drivetrain blocks. But please feel free, if you want to do any exploring and seeing what you want to make with your code, you can use any of the blocks that are available to you. So at the minute, we don't have a robot that we can start to code. We've got our when started block there, but we need to be able to have a program and a playground that we can be able to use. So we're going to come to the top of the screen, and we're going to the button that says select playground. And once we tap on there, it will bring up a number of playgrounds. Now, fear not, the ones at the top are ones that you will have to have a license for. We're not using any of those ones. We're just going to scroll down to the bottom of the page where you will then be able to see there are free playgrounds that you can then use that you don't need to have a license for. The one we are using today is the wall maze, but as you can see, there are other ones available to you. You've got things like the art canvas, you've got Castle Crasher, you've got a coral reef cleanup there, but we're just going to scroll down all the way to the bottom, and we're going to go to the bottom one on the right hand side that is called wall maze. And what it will do, it will then load up the playground for you and put it as a little pop-out version on your screen, so you can still use your code underneath. Now, once you're at this point, you can then start to build up your code. And you can see there, if I just zoom in, your little robot is sat on a green square beside the blue letter A. And the idea of this maze is to be able to get to the checkered red and black flag at the top of the screen. Before we start to build up the code, it may be worth just having a look at the screen and having a bit of an explore. So in the bottom right hand corner of that pop-up screen, you will see that there are 3 different versions of a camera icon. This basically shows you the angle at which the camera is showing the map. So it may be helpful to have it in this mode at the minute, because we can kind of see top down where we need our robot to move. But you can put it into drive mode, which looks straight ahead for you. Or you can do it in kind of a 3D mode where you're still seeing it from the car's point of view or the robot's point of view, but you can then also see what's coming as well. I'm just going to put it in a top-down mode just so it's be able to help me. Okay, so let's start to build our code. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull across these little blocks here that you can see, and you need to make sure that the blocks are attached. Now, what it does is it puts it into your little coding block, and it allows you to be able to change the number of how far forward you want to be able to go. So if I just press the play button, we'll see that my robot has moved that far. Now I want to move it a little bit further, so I'm just going to tap on where it says 200, and I'm going to just change that to 250. Then I press the play button, and that allows me to see how much further it's moved. And that's really, really helpful because it allows me to be able to tinker with my code and be able to put it back and make sure that I'm going in the right place. Now, my robot has driven forward, so I now need to turn to my different degrees to be able to help me. So to do that, I'm just going to use the turn to heading button, and then I've got my 90 degrees here. Now, what we need to do is we need to work out which way left and right is. So if we think about right angles, if we start at 0 pointing to the top, one right angle would get us to be facing right, which is 90 degrees. 2 right angles would help us go back down, which would be 180 degrees. And 3 right angles, where I would be pointing left, would be 270 degrees. So let's try that and type in turn 270 degrees, and that's that way. And then I'm going to drive forward. Let's do 250 again, and let's see how that works. I press my play button. Excellent. I've got that far way so far. So now what we need to do, we now need to build up our code to see if we can get our robot all the way around the maze. So take some time now, have a go, and let's see if you can get your robot around your maze. So I've now had a go and tried to get my robot, and I think I've managed to do it. Now, the code does take a bit of a while, and what you'll find is that actually when you start to build it, it gets really, really big. So in the corner of your screen, you can see, just like Scratch, there is a zoom in and a zoom out feature. That can be really, really handy just to be able to see all of your code, or the majority of your code, when you are watching your video. So let's have a look and see. So when I press the play button on my playground, you will see that it will then light up each piece of code as we are going through. That's really helpful because if I find that I've made a mistake, I can stop my code and it will show me where I need to tinker with the code, debug it, and make sure that it works. So let's have a look. Fingers crossed. I press my play button, and now you can see that it's flashing and it's going down the side there to make me see that I've done all of those parts of the code. I'm nearly there. And you can make this easier or harder by going through and going to the numbers or going to the letters or going to both before you get there. I'm nearly there. Yes, I've done it. That's amazing. So once I've got my code there, I can stop. You can see how many seconds it's taken, and you can start to tinker with that. And as I've said, you can make it easier by just going all the way around, or you can make it harder by saying that you have to visit all of the numbers first before you get to the finish line. It's completely up to you. What you can also do is you can also save your code as well, so that if you wanted to come back to it at a later date, you can. And to do this, we're going to come up to the top of the menu here where it says File. We tap on the word File, and then it allows us to save it to our device. And depending on what device you are on, if I just press download, you'll see that on my iPad, it has just appeared into my downloads folder, which I can then move and put into my files and save it in there. If you are working on a laptop, it will go into your downloads folder either on your MacBook or your Microsoft laptop, and it will then save in the downloads folder that you can load it from there. And on your Android, it will also go into your File Explorer. And the great thing is then about it is that if you ever wanted to go back and load up your code, you can go to File, Load from your device, and then you have that there as well. And the opportunities with VR Vex are amazing. So if I just tap on the VR Vex at the beginning and go to a new blocks project, I've already saved my code. You've got all of these different playgrounds that you can use. So you can have a look through and you can see if you want to have a go at maybe doing the numbers grid map. What you can also do is go to File and go to a new text project. So what you can do is if you wanted to, you can actually build this up in Python if you wanted to. I think that's a step too far for me and I'll just concentrate on my block coding, but just to make you aware that that is also available as well. So choose the playground, have a look through and see if you can create your most amazing roaming robot. And if you want to share it with us, please do a screen recording or some screenshots and put those into Showbie so that we can see what amazing roaming robots that you have created. We really hope that this video has helped, but if there is anything that you need from us, please get in touch with us at the Discover Digital team and we will be more than happy to help. Thanks for watching.